Good morning, everybody. Frank Valkyrie, welcome to the channel. Today we have another video in regards of the whole entourage of AH and those past stories. So stay tuned, let's dive into it. It seems like that some people are starting to get a little bit afraid, and I wonder why that is. And also, there is a sort of doxing, well, actually, a doxing involved of somebody that now we know that goes by the name of GIA, which is the one that came forward to Jessica Reed Kraus on Azenbait for the stories in regard of those parties with celebrities and billionaires and girls and so on and so forth. So let's dive into it. The first thing we see here is those, let's say, self-claimed incredible journalist that goes by the name of Kat Tambarge and Eve Barlow. Both of them, I would say, they're gonna get a Pulitzer one day for sure. Well, actually, I shouldn't make those jokes because the way politics goes these days, I wouldn't be surprised if some of those, for whatever reasons, they will get one. But yeah, that's the world we live in, right? So what's interesting here? Well, it's interesting that instead of ignoring Jessica, somehow they're responding to it, and also in a very, very vocal way, on the tweets. Anyway, here Kat said, I hesitated to share any of this because I didn't want to give Jessica more attention, feeding into the notoriety she has attained through lies and propaganda. But this is becoming the anti-mainstream media playbook, and I want other journalists and the public to be aware. Barlow then follows up and says, she's the worst, projecting herself onto real journalists, including yourself, because Katarbage, Danburge, or Changurge, that name, I don't know how to pronounce it, is a real journalist. Okay? Just in case you get that wrong. Including yourself because she's keeping slanderous conspiracy-based story in the press about AH, scraping an already exhausted barrel and making a pretty penny from it, gross, unethical, and self-promotional. Well, it's amazing that those type of things come from a person that literally seemed to have no other purpose in life than to create basically fictional stuff in regard to what happened to the trial between Johnny Depp and his ex-wife, very ex-wife. So here we get the poster of the thing here. I missed the last 2 days on Twitter, so don't know what I've missed, but these two sounds like they are hitting themselves over Jessica and a little salty too, laughing my ass, crying faces. They're salty for real. I agree with this guy or lady because ignoring will be better, but you know that probably some stuff is real. So, boom. I love how those things are popping out. January 29, 2018. I love how those older posts are resurfacing it of people in regards of, I think here the post said like something like, I had people following very strict rules on how that to behave around me because otherwise they could trigger my PTSD. Yeah, that looks like exactly what it looks like. Is something else. We'll get into it in a moment. I just want to share this with you because I find it fascinating, those resurfaced posts, which they show a cockiness that isn't there nowadays. This was whether because it was at the height of being supported by the ACLU, the Me Too movement, going around speaking for $30,000 allegedly. That's what they say. I don't know if it's true. They said that she got paid to do those type of TED Talks, $30,000 plus. So you see the behavior of a person that feels like he's untouchable, and that cockiness transpires, comes true. This is Adam Waldman stating facts that now we know to be true. And here we have, you see, this is 12, 15, 15. Allegation: had bruises, ribs, bruises all over my body, bruises on my forearms from trying to defend my blows. Had 2 black eyes, I had a broken nose, I had a broken lip. Justice Nichols, I believe her. UK Appeals Court, we believe him. But hoops, photo shoot. You have a photo shoot in that same period, I suppose. This was, I think, if I remember correctly, this was short after, or the same after this incident that supposedly happened on the island of Johnny Depp, because he had an island, and somebody used that island for photo shoots and more, and she looked absolutely pristine. So here he says, like, I'd rather be short than an abusive gold digger, says Millie. And AH replied, it's good to be realistic with your goals. So that really, like, insufferable cockiness comes out. But what do we have more here? Well, apart from Kat and Eve kind of giving even more credence, more, how can you say, believability to this story, credibility, sorry. English, you can give more credibility to the stories of the parties. I actually just watched another video of Colonel Kurtz, which interviewed somebody that works in the sex industry, that he claims that those rumors were true, that he attended those type of parties. So maybe it's a good watch also, that. Very interesting. Because I'm not surprised that those things do take place. You know, people sign non-disclosure formats. So, and again, I also don't care in between adults. You do your fetish. But anyway, now seems like a lot of people from Team Heard, they're spreading this picture of who it supposedly could be GIA, stating that, like, this was Halloween, so therefore she could not have been years later with the same dress, so therefore could not be the Gatsby party dress that was slashed by AH. So, and again, this, we have to be careful with this, because we know that, see, those people, justice for AH, they still believe that. Can you imagine? So those people, they're going around and they love to falsify stuff. So we have to be careful. And also, they're basically, as you can see here, Spaghetti here is clearly trying to intimidate GIA for coming forward about AH parties. They're clearly someone in the AH inner circle with inside info, threatening to dox her like they already did with multiple people and attempting to discredit, housing bait. And like they did also with the Tug from that Umbrella guy and other people. They're going after YouTubers talking about this. I told you that also being targeted with, basically every time I put AH in the title, my videos, they have to be reviewed manually and they get the yellow icon, even though I'm not talking anything crazy. You know me. So at least some of you know the way I talk. But for whatever reason, they always need a manual review. And in the meanwhile, basically, whatever income you could make out of the video, it's gone by the time they review the video and they accept it. So I think it's also a little bit targeting this. They're trying to discredit people from covering, but maybe I'm just talking conspiracy. Anyway, I hope that more clarity comes out here in regard of this dress, this picture. I hope that GIA comes forward telling us more on Jessica Reed Kraus housing bait. I have the feeling that Jessica is more available at the moment, so I think we'll probably hear more news about those parties and incidents. It was interesting to see also this picture here. I don't remember what it was. I think it was somewhere here. Did I miss it? There was this picture of AH with like they were framing a shot that I think I just lost. Was it here? Right here we go. It's interesting. Somebody here, there is this person here that is framing AH. See? And there is this other person here that it's recording, the guy recording, and I see somebody next to him here on the phone. It's kind of really weird angle because here it's behind I couldn't see it because it's behind the candles. Now I see it. Okay. So it seems that there is somebody behind the candles, and it's recording both of them. So this is interesting because, as you can see, there's a lot of people recording stuff, and I just hope, in a way, I would love to see some of those video leaked out. So if those pictures they become more viral, perhaps some of the people involved, which they still have those videos, perhaps they're going to put it out there. It'll be interesting to see. Not so much, maybe this is just whatever, normal party, there's not so much to see. But I'm more talking about the one, perhaps parties that could involve that Gatsby thing, that famous Gatsby party, even though I don't put too much hope on that because, like I said, those big parties of billionaires, most of the time, you go there without phones, you sign a non-disclosure form so that you will be banned from sharing anything you see. And I would say, in a way, like rightly so, some people want privacy, but I find it amazing that it's always the very wealthy that they really make sure that, no phone is going around, no picture is taken, so that nothing can be shared, so much for the sake of social medias and social platform that some of them actually they've invested in or they're the creators of. So I found that actually like could we say an oxymoron? Guys, let me know your thoughts. I'm still, please, Jessica, if you see this video, I would love to get in contact with you. Would love to perhaps, I don't know if Jessica does any podcasts or talks. It would be really interesting to interact. I'll try to reach out. Guys, send her a message as well. Perhaps she sees this so we can get in contact. Would be nice to have her on the show here and we could talk about this. But anyway, let me know your thoughts. We also know here that now, it's making the news, the video that we posted a few days ago in regards of the email, the anonymous email of Jessica with this Jacob guy, which supposedly apologizes to Jessica for the threats, and also confirming that basically they were doing like creating multiple fake accounts, sort of bots, fake accounts, in order to spread misinformation in favor of AH, and they've been doing this for quite some time. And they were also like he or she was also confirming that those pictures that were released in the trial were fake. So we'll see what happens. We just have to keep waiting with a little bit of patience. So meanwhile, go check the other videos. Go check the vlogs on the Amalfi Coast if you haven't. Oh, by the way, I also want to tell you one thing. You know that I never advertise myself, but here I have my book. I just received a notification from my publisher that there is still a little bit more of the Kindle book. Now it's just $1.75. So if you want to support the channel and you want a nice, fantastical read, imbued with conspiracy theories a little bit, magical realism, a little bit of Indiana Jones / Haruki Murakami, which is one of my favorite writers, at least in my abilities. I try to do that because I look up to that writer a lot. Also Banana Yoshimoto. I love those two writers very, very much. But anyway, if you feel like reading a Kindle and you want to support the channel, this is a freaking great way. Cheap, less than a coffee. Actually, way less than a coffee. Let me know, guys. Always spread love. Talk to you later. Ciao.